Hello viewer, welcome to Elimu TV where you watch and learn. This is our third lesson of Geography Form 1. Our topic today will be weather. I'll be your teacher, Madam Abigail Rachel. Before we start our lesson today, I will preview the last lesson we had. So the last lesson we talked about the relationship between geography and other subjects. If you can remember, we talked about the relationship between geography and physics, geography and engineering, geography and mathematics, geography and history. So if you have your notes, please revisit your notes again so that you can catch up with our lesson today. Our lesson today begins right now and we look at weather. So weather, what is weather? Today in the morning when you woke up, if you looked through your window, how did you see the weather today? Was it cloudy? Was it raining? Was it sunny? So weather is the condition of the atmosphere of a given place at a specific time or over a short period of time. So weather keeps on changing. It can be sunny in the morning, cloudy in the afternoon, raining in the evening. There can be thunder maybe during the night if it is raining. So in our diagram, we have sunny, we have partly sunny, all cloudy, snowy, thunderstorms, raining, windy, and rainbow. All these are elements of weather that we'll see after a short period of time in the atmosphere. We look at precipitation. So precipitation is a general term used to describe the forms of moisture which fall from the atmosphere of the earth. So precipitation is also called rainfall. This is another word that we all know. Rainfall, we have all seen rain in forms of thunder, hail, and ice. We go to the forms of precipitation. We have dew, frost, snow, mist and fog. Under mist and fog, we have radiation fog, advection fog, hill fog, frontal fog, seam fog, and rainfall. So here is an image of mist and fog. All the forms of precipitation, they somehow look the same. So rainfall is a form of precipitation from the clouds in the form of water droplets. We all know what rain is. We have been rained on at some point in our life. We have also played with the rain when we were little youngs. So there are types of rainfall. We have relief rainfall, convectional rainfall, and cyclonic rainfall. I will begin with relief rainfall. So relief rainfall is experienced in highland areas and it falls in light showers over long periods of time. So relief comes from the word mountainous places with high hills, valleys, and mountains. So relief occurs when warm, moist air from the sea is forced to ascend over relief features, e.g. an escarpment, hill, mountain, or a cliff. As this warm, moist air ascends, it cools, and on reaching condensation level, the moisture in it will condense to form clouds. And most of the moisture will be deposited on the windward side, and the dry winds are forced to cross over to the leeward side. After this, the winds will dry up and they will lead to the formation of climate or on the leeward side. Here is a diagram on the slide to show you how relief rainfall occurs. So on the diagram, you have a high ground. This is our mountain. We have a sea. So the sea has water. It contains water. And for rainfall to occur, we'll see that there will be high temperatures which will heat the water in the sea. When the water is heated, it will raise up in the form of moisture. So the moisture will go up the mountain, where it will warm and it will be forced to cool upon reaching the clouds. And when it cools, after it has reached the clouds, it will condense. When it condenses, they form clouds, and these clouds, when they get too heavy to be suspended on the surface of the earth, they will fall down as rainfall. This is the moisture that will go on the part of the windward side. Some moisture will also cross over to the leeward side, and when it crosses over, the moisture, it will lose the moisture content in it and it becomes dry air. So the dry air will sink and it will get warm. As a result of the moisture getting lost and getting warm, it brings a drying effect on the leeward side of the mountain. That's why the economic purpose of the leeward side of the mountain will be pastoralism, because they have no rainfall to cultivate their land. Our next type of rainfall will be convectional rainfall. Convectional rainfall is the opposite of relief rainfall, and this type of rainfall is mainly experienced around the equatorial region, since there are large water masses around the equator and they get a lot of heat from overhead the sun. So convectional rainfall is mostly experienced in places that have large water masses, for example, Lake Victoria, around the Indian Oceans, and other places that have large water masses. So as a result of the warm, moist air that rises in the form of convectional currents from the water masses, the air reaches the higher layers of the atmosphere. It then condenses to form big clouds, and this type of rain is usually heavy and it lasts for more than 30 minutes. Let's look at this diagram of convectional rainfall. It is going to explain what I have just said. So we have our land and the sea. We have the sun on the right topmost part of the slide, and this sun, when it heats up the atmosphere, the heat in it makes the water to evaporate in form of convectional currents. So the moist in it will raise up to the atmosphere, where it condenses to form clouds. You can see clouds on this slide, on this image. They are white in color. When the clouds become too heavy to be suspended in the atmosphere, they fall as rainfall. So we have our rainfall on the left side of this slide. So this is how convectional rainfall occurs. And it lasts, we see that it lasts more than 30 minutes. We go to the next type of rainfall, that is the cyclonic or frontal rainfall. It is also known as frontal. We will see, as we progressively go to our next slide, we will see why it is called a frontal rainfall. So when warm, moist air is forced to rise over cloud air, the moisture in it is cooled and condenses to fall as cyclonic rainfall. The point where the two masses meet is called a frontal zone. So we have a point where there are two masses of air meeting. That is the warm, moist air and the cold, moist air. Where they meet is called a frontal zone. So frontal rainfall is usually very heavy and is accompanied by thunder and lightning. Here is a diagram to explain. On our diagram, we have the red part, that is warm, moist air. We also have the somehow bluish part, that is the cold air. So when these two types of air masses meet, they condense to form clouds in the atmosphere. When the clouds get too heavy to be suspended in the atmosphere, they fall down as rainfall. On the line that we have 2, 3, and 4, this is the frontal zone. This is the meeting point of the two air masses. We have come to the end of our lesson. And I'd like to give you an assignment. Our assignment will be discuss the elements of weather, name and discuss the types of rainfall. If you have any questions, answers or feedback, SMS us on 4007. Facebook page is Elimu TV. Twitter is ElimuTV_KE. Thank you for choosing to learn with Elimu TV.